our heart rate, so it makes us more relaxed in that sense. Vitamin D levels are increased because we get the sunlight. People who spend a lot of time outside, they're more active in that sense, so they're less likely to be obese. It makes you live longer, but also for your children, you know, taking them out to a park when they're young, it increases their cognitive development, and it just makes for a happier and healthier generation. So there's lots of positives that we can gain from being outside and interacting with nature. So how can we benefit from nature? Well, I've split this talk into 3 different sections. So one is the outside, the other part is sensing, and then inside. Especially now when it gets darker and colder, maybe there are ways that we can benefit from nature inside rather than outside, especially if it's a miserable day. So I'll start with talking about going outside. So what can we do? Well, we can visit a park for once. Dundee has lots of beautiful parks out there. There's probably one on your doorstep that you can explore, and you can simply go and you can have a walk, but you can also just sit in the park. You don't need to go running, you don't need to sweat. It's just about being there and enjoying being there, switching off your phone and just letting your eyes wander for a moment, or close your eyes and just listening to what's around you. It does you some good. More about the benefits we covered in a campaign at the beginning of last year. We spoke about how, you know, walking is good for keeping you fit and helps with type 2 diabetes, lowers high blood pressure, helps reduce risks of cancer, stress. It helps lowering the risk of developing Alzheimer's. In general, it can make you live longer. So there's lots of different benefits, and these are just a couple that we pulled out to promote to get people walking more. So walking is for everybody, and we all benefit from it in many, many different ways. There are other things that we can do, which is cycling, and I think we've seen a lot more people out on their bikes, and there was more investment in cycling infrastructure during the pandemic as well. Bike shops have been very busy, so going cycling is really, really beneficial to our health. I think it's the best way to get from A to B. I certainly try and not use the car and just cycle everywhere, and Dundee's very cyclable because you can get everywhere within 20 minutes or so. So the benefits of cycling, you know, it's good for your stamina and your strength. It decreases your stress levels. You can just kind of switch off and get the wind in your face and enjoy the fresh air. It strengthens your bones, muscle strength and flexibility. We always need that. It decreases your body fat levels, so it helps keep you fit while having fun. It's good in the prevention and management of disease, cardiovascular fitness, and it reduces stress and anxiety and depression. And I do this as well. If I've had a really long, busy day, sometimes I just get on my bike for half an hour after and just go along the coast and enjoy the view and stretch my legs, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So that's another way that we can engage with the outdoors. This is the cycling network in Dundee. So as you can see, we have lots of routes, and I'm pretty sure that there will be, this is the 2019 version, that there'll be an update soon because there's been a lot of development. So Dundee's quite well connected, and the slides will be made available later, so you have the links to all these resources as well. There is another thing that we can do, which is gardening. So my colleague Kate Trahan, she started a lockdown gardening YouTube channel at the beginning of lockdown, showing all of us how we can garden with very little and with things that we already have inside our kitchen. So there are still things that we can plant at this time inside as well, such as, you know, making a little herb garden for yourself, put it on the windowsill and just cook with those, and it's great fun. And also little flowers and other things. If it's warm inside and you put them in the windowsill, they'll still grow. So we can still engage with gardening, and we can also start planning for next year, which is lovely. And it is something that everybody can engage with. Sensing nature. So seeing nature by being there, but also virtually by looking at pictures. Imagining nature, so by closing your eyes and imagining being outside, and by listening to it. So all of these things have been shown to also improve our health and well-being. And there's a lovely little quote which I got from a paper which says if we simply close our eyes and imagine being in nature, our pulse drops, our breathing slows, and positive hormones release. Even if it's not real, it can have an associated effect. So if the day isn't very nice and you don't want to go outside because it's wet and it's cold and you'd rather cuddle up on the couch, listening to videos and watching nature virtually on your screen can have a positive effect too. And I thought we can give this a try. All the other sessions had little exercises, so I thought I'll do one too. And this is called ASMR, which stands for Autonomous Sensory Medial Response. So this is a line of research where white noise belongs to as well, and it just speaks about these virtual positive effects that we can get from hearing and seeing and virtually sensing, because it does stimulate our brain and we get benefits from that too. So what I would like you to do now is we're going to watch a little video of Clatter Park that was taken, I think it was a week or so ago, a week and a half, no longer than that, on a still nice and sunny day. And you can sit back and just relax and listen. You can close your eyes in the meantime, and then I'll be back with you after 5 minutes. Okay, so don't know how that made you feel, but I certainly found it very relaxing. If you go on YouTube, you can find a lot of these videos, not of Dundee, so far this is the only one from Dundee, but even listening to rain and other sounds. And some of these go for hours and hours, and there's even live streams. And just if you're working from home and you want to bring a little nature inside, sometimes it's quite a nice thing to put on in the background for a change. Okay, so the other thing that we can do bringing nature inside is not just virtually using videos and sounds, but we can also think about the way that we design our homes and which materials we use, and even that can have positive effects. So I thought I'll show you some images that I found on the web, and this is called biophilic design, so you can read up more about it, and it's about the idea of using natural materials with natural textures such as wood, different motifs, bringing plants inside. These can be ornamental plants, these can be herbs and other things that you put in the kitchen and you make use of. They can be succulents and other plants that need less watering. So, and they're just evergreen and beautiful, and they can just brighten up the space a bit. And there's so many different plants that you can choose from. So that's one way, using nature pictures and images, drawings, different nature wallpapers. There are very nice things around. Natural light, so pulling away the curtains, letting the light in, opening the window, even if it's just for 5 minutes to let some fresh air in. If you live in a darker place, there are different light bulbs that you can use which have like a warmer light that's more closely imitating natural light than the fluorescent sort of bluish light. That's also very nice. Sometimes we can reduce artificial sounds, sort of hummings and stereo things that are on standby that can interfere. And it's about using colours that are quite natural, such as different shades of green or earthy browns, taupe, cream colours, sky blue. And then we can use natural scents, either by taking flowers inside, and you know, the herbs, if you have those, they smell too, and it's just really lovely. I've been growing some tomato plants inside, and I have to say they smell just fabulous. But you can obviously also buy different oils. Yeah, in the bedroom as well, you can see living up with plants, earthy shades. It's just a really nice thing to do. And then as we're getting closer to Christmas and the holidays, there are other ways that we can actually make use of nature, such as by making different wreaths and decorations for our home. So, you know, we can have a creative Christmas. Instead of going to the shops and buying all these things, you can just go for a nice walk in your park or visit Templeton Woods or another woodland close by, get a couple of branches, get some cones, some leaves, some twigs with berries on them, or even some flowers. You can dehydrate some oranges and other fruits, and you can hang them up and string them up and use some candles and just make it nice and cozy and homely. So these are just a couple of ideas that I thought were really nice to do. There's many, many more out there, and I've included, as the sites will be shared, I've included some resources, so you can click through them in your own time, you know, from health walks to gardening, and then some Christmas resources as well on how to make this yourselves. And, you know, it's not expensive, it's a lot of fun. You can do it on your own, you can do it with your family, you can get the kids involved, and there's something in there for everyone, and it just might help to bring nature inside and to overcome the dark and cold days. So that's me for now. Thank you very much, and I'll hand back over to Alison now.